draft. Not a surprise. He's got some work to do with whatever TCU could do, maybe a game or two left. But he's also headed. There's his Frog Nation letter.
Well, he's never going to be as hot as he is right now. I mean, maybe. I mean, like, he could very well come back and use that last year of eligibility and, shoot up the charts. But being the Heisman Trophy runner-up out of nowhere, nobody had him on their Heisman Trophy long list to begin the year. It was not going to be that, and that's because they knew he was going to be in a quarterback battle to begin the season, a quarterback battle that initially he lost. So right now he's hot, and he needs to ride that wave as much as he can, because it's about that coin right now and making as much as you can while you're still able to. So yeah, I think it sucks for TCU that they're going to have to kind of do this all over again, but maybe they should feel good because Chandler Morris beat him out in the first place, and then he just got so hot that they didn't have a choice but to keep him in later on.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised to see that. I just wasn't connecting Max Duggan with the NFL in any way, shape, or form. I didn't think he was going to come back either. I figured he'd go test the NFL waters, but I wasn't 100% sure. You see some of these guys that are more than happy to continue playing out their college careers for as long as they possibly can, but I don't know, part of me was kind of relieved that he did it. Not relieved because I'm worried about playing Max Duggan. I don't have to worry about that, nor do I really care about Baylor having to play him again and seeing him play again. I think, it'd be good for college football in a way, but I think it's good that there's not like this delay. Like, they can just have this great run that they're on, have whatever conclusion they have, and then, start anew next year with Chandler Morris or whoever it's going to end up being, and he doesn't try to come back and relive this and let's now try to win the national, if they don't win the national title, let's now try to run it back. We always say that, run it back, and, I'm kind of glad that for once somebody's not running it back. They're just like, hey, this is a hell of a year. Let's close this bad boy on out as best we can, and then, I'm going to go see what I can do in the pros, and, there's other options in other leagues too, and I mean, I have no idea what to think about as far as his pro stock goes, what he's eyeing or what he's hoping for or what the NFL even thinks of him. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that information over the coming weeks. But, yeah, I wasn't totally caught off guard by that and happy for Max Duggan. I mean, what a year it's turned into with no expectations other than for himself and maybe what some of the coaches had for him as far as what they expected his role to be. But he's been great and, maximized his time under center for TCU and still has some time to be able to do even more with it.
All right, you guys, I'm going to put my 2 cents in on what type of quarterback do I think that TCU's quarterback Max Duggan really is. I definitely think that he's a hidden gem, hidden in plain sight. Definitely a lot of quarterbacks are being talked about. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and there's been other quarterbacks that's been mentioned as well. But I kind of want to put the proper perspective on Max Duggan and what type of player you're dealing with when you're dealing with Max Duggan, or if this is the type of quarterback that you're looking to draft, whether you want him as a backup or you want him as a eventual starter. Definitely, I think that he's capable of doing both. Now, his story is kind of interesting. This season, he was not supposed to be the starting quarterback for TCU. I think it was the quarterback Chandler Moore who was supposed to start, but he ended up getting hurt. So Max Duggan ended up getting that job, and pretty much it's history. The dude eventually made it as a Heisman finalist at the quarterback position, and he has been playing phenomenal. And I just think that that's something that's going to carry him a long way, and maybe that might even carry him to being a late first-round pick or maybe a second round or third round. I don't know what round Max Duggan is going to be drafted in, but he possesses the skill set that you want in a modern-day quarterback in the NFL. He has the ability to be able to extend plays with his legs. He's an athletic quarterback who is able to leave the pocket and gain positive yards at any time, possesses very good vision and balance. He's elusive, and he has deceptive speed, and he's a power runner when he has the football in his hand, capable of being able to cause damage out on the field with his legs as well. Gets the ball out quickly, making very good split decisions. Good to short, intermediate level accuracy when throwing short routes. Demonstrates great ball placement to allow receivers to catch the ball on the run. And that's definitely what you're looking for when you want to develop a young quarterback. And teams that I think that need to grab a quarterback, guys like the Colts and the Detroit Lions, who could desperately use a young quarterback to be able to develop behind Jared Goff. I think that Max Duggan would be a great candidate for that, to be able to be developed. A guy that had played 4 years with TCU, being able to be developed and allow Jared Goff to be that starting quarterback. And if Goff was to get hurt or anything like that, I think that Max Duggan can come in and get the job done. I love that he plays with that toughness, that grittiness, and he's going to be out there trying to win football games. And that's what you want from your quarterback. You see what the San Francisco 49ers are doing with Brock Purdy, and I think that it can be done with any team. You just got to be able to be willing to be able to take a chance on developing a young quarterback. And I think if these teams are willing to develop a young quarterback, skies is going to be the limit. But he has the skill set that definitely, man, a lot of teams are going to fall in love with. A lot of teams will definitely look at this guy and say, man, I want him on my roster. Duggan plays with that poise and that confidence that you want out of a young quarterback. He plays with that. And that's what you want. When you're developing young quarterbacks, you want them to have confidence, because you never know, that guy could end up being a starter. We see what happened with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the backup. And now eventually Tom Brady has become one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game. And I'm not saying that Max Duggan is going to be the type of quarterback that Tom Brady is, because that's saying a lot. I know he's not going to be that type of quarterback, not starting off anyway, because he's probably going to be a guy that's going to be a backup quarterback, or there's a team that's willing to give him an opportunity. So you just never know. I don't know what his projection is, where he's going to be drafted at. He could be a late round pick in the first round. He could be taken in the second, the third, or the fourth. It doesn't matter at this point. It just matters for him to be able to be drafted and selected and having the opportunity to play. But I think that he'll get drafted a little bit higher. The reason because he's a Heisman finalist. So definitely, I know all eyes are going to be on him at the combine to see how well he's able to listen to the scouts and do the things that they want him to do with the football. And I think that this kid definitely can be a quarterback that any team can groom. Any team would love to have a solid backup young quarterback back there backing up their starter, because you never know when your starter could go down and end up getting injured and not being able to go for the rest of the season. So you always got to be willing, and you always got to be ready to be able to develop these young guys. And I just think that Max Duggan is one of those guys that I would definitely draft on my team. And I would definitely develop this young guy and see what he's able to do. Now, you all know that it's always weaknesses that a player has. And Duggan, definitely, he does display weaknesses as well. No quarterback is out there not making any mistakes at all. Sometimes he holds the ball too long. Sometimes Duggan is one of those quarterbacks that keeps his eye on a receiver when he should be probably reading through his progressions and stuff like that. Needs to clean up his footwork with his mechanics. Can play sloppy at times, but that's any quarterback that's under this duress, that he's going to play sloppy at times, especially when you're running from 300-pound linemen. Sometimes it's going to look sloppy. It ain't going to always look good out there. So I think he needs to improve on his decision-making with the football, on his pre-snap recognitions, reading defenses, and seeing blitzes. That's something that he's going to have to work on in the NFL, being able to recognize defenses. And I think that once he's able to recognize these defenses, I'm telling you, man, this dude can tear it up. He could be one of those quarterbacks that tear it up for you. So he needs to be able to decipher information quickly, because in the NFL, things are a little bit faster than college. And I just think that he just needs to understand coverage, period, on the defensive side of the ball, because he needs to know where he needs to go with that football. So he has a bit of a slight frame, which is problematic with a dual threat quarterback. But they say this about all dual threat quarterbacks, that, man, it doesn't really matter. When it comes to the dual threat quarterback, you can get hurt as a pocket passer. The same thing that happened to Lamar Jackson earlier this season. Lamar Jackson didn't get hurt from scrambling. He got hurt standing in the pocket. Any quarterback can get hurt. It doesn't matter if you're a dual threat or if you a pocket passer. You can get hurt. That's just part of the game. That's just part of football. Players get hurt. It's a gladiator sport. So players get hurt. They come and go. You saw what happened in San Francisco with Jimmy G and Trey Lance this year. The 49ers did not know that they were going to lose two quarterbacks, two starting caliber quarterbacks. They did not know that they were going to lose those quarterbacks. And then a rookie out of nowhere, out of Iowa State by the name of Brock Purdy, comes in and plays well and is playing really poised, playing very mature. So you just never know. You just got to be willing to take the chance on grabbing a guy like a Max Duggan, because I definitely think that he is a quarterback that can be drafted by you and can be developed by you. And there's things that he can work on to get better. Duggan definitely has that margin for error. He's going to make mistakes. He may not be the biggest guy. I think he's about 6'1", 6'2", something like that. But I love the physicality that he plays with. I love his heart and his passion out on the field. I love that he's going to bring it all the time. And I understand that he has things that he needs to work on. No quarterback is perfect. And I understand that about every prospect that comes into the NFL. They can either be a boom or they can be a bust. That's just what it is. Any prospect that comes into the NFL, doesn't matter if they're a quarterback or what, you could be a boom or you could be a bust. It just depends on what you do when you get out on the football field on Sundays and when you suit up on Sundays. But I definitely think that Max Duggan is a quarterback that any team can develop. And any team would love to have this type of player on their roster. All right, you guys, this is Raw Detroit, and I'll be back to you soon with another video. I'm out of here. Till next time, peace.